Hi guys, welcome back to vlog 2 of my makeup training experience. Now this is a slightly different type of vlog, more like a sit down video because it is actually Sunday today, and yesterday I was about to upload, kind of export the or import the footage from last week to edit and upload, and my memory card was faulty, so I lost everything. So instead I'm just going to have to sit down and I'll just chat through what I've done and stuff like that. Obviously I can still insert pictures so you can see exactly what I've been doing, so it's probably not going to be as exciting as maybe last week, although the stuff we did this week was very exciting. But I really apologise, I don't know what happened. So this is the vlog you're gonna get. So yeah, I had to wait till today for the new memory card to be delivered, so that's why it's going up later. So anyway, this week was kind of all about it was all to do with special effects this week. It was a very full-on week, very hard work. I have to say there were a couple of times where I struggled. I think a few of us struggled at times. This week involved a lot of patience and just like perseverance, but I really enjoyed this week, actually more than I thought I would. So Monday, all to do with bruising, to create bruises, to create looks as though we've been in a fight on one another. So we had to do 2 looks for that, like a look for immediately after a fight and then one for like 24 hours later. And so I paired with Amelia for this one, and so the first look was immediately after a fight. So it was kind of up to you where you wanted to place things depending on where they've been punched or hit or scratched or whatever. So first of all, you kind of added redness, maybe in like circles, to kind of create, trying to like show where they've been punched, because obviously nothing bruises yet, so it's just redness and swelling. So you kind of use red in a circle, leaving the middle bit section clear just to create that illusion of swelling and things like that. I had some like scab wax, I think it was above her brow I did, to kind of act as though her face had been cut or stuff. You put, there's this really cool stuff which I need to get for my kit when I start building my special effects kit. It was from Cryolan, but I know a few other brands do it. It's stuff called collodion, and basically it's a clear liquid, and you can layer it up onto the skin and it kind of tightens the skin, so you can use it for scratches and it gives an illusion as though your skin has actually been scratched. And you can go with like red, maybe a bit of scab blood, just to make it look like scratched or like the surface of the skin has been broken type thing. So there was no bruising. We added some blood, so I added some scab blood and wound blood to the scar. I had some blood dripping down. We had to stick, like, if you'd been punched in the nose, obviously you'd get a nosebleed, so we had to put like clotted or filler blood up the nose. Well, not quite up the nose, but like around up in the nostril area, to like the blood had clotted there, and obviously like blood streaming down if you wanted to. And then we got like, so I got Amelia to kind of, so you know like when your nose is running or something's dripping your face, you have the automatic reaction just to kind of wipe it away. I got Amelia to do that so that the blood kind of smeared, so it gave more effect. And then the final thing we also did was, another thing I need to get for my kit because I think it's so great, is, again, this one was from Cryolan again, and it was called a tear stick. And it's a great thing to have, say if you're on set and actors are struggling to produce the tears or need a lot of help. It really does work, and we've all had it done to each other, so we know the feeling and stuff like that, so we can kind of talk through it. And the way I can describe it, so it gets put under this section and this section, not too close to the eyes, and the way I can describe it is it feels like a puff of air has gone into the eyes, and it's kind of the sensation of like Vicks Vapor Rub, that smell that's kind of gone into methanol, isn't it? Like a burst of like methanol into the eye, and it's really weird, and your eyes start to go a bit red, they start to glaze over, and eventually, hopefully, tears will start to stream. So it's a really great way of producing tears if you maybe can't get them going. If the tears don't, or you can add like drops of glycerin to create the tears, but the tear stick's quite good because it gives that redness and glaze effect to the eyes, and it kind of actually feels like you've been crying, because then like your nose starts going, and you almost feel like your eyes feel heavy, as though, you know, kind of heaviness after crying. It feels weird. It does imitate the feeling of crying, of like you've been crying. So it's a really great product to have, and definitely something I'm going to get in my kit. So it was quite a messy look for the first look, not much bruising, just redness, blood smeared all everywhere, tears and stuff like that. And then for the 24 hours later, we kind of took away the dripping blood, got rid of the tear sticks, and just kind of, that's when we started to add the deeper colours, so the purples and the blues, around where we put the redness to create the bruises. So yeah, the bruises starting to form, maybe some like bruising under the eyes, added a bit more scab blood to like the scabbers, so it's kind of starting to heal type thing. And that's literally all you have to do for, and that's kind of the only few steps you have to do to then create it as though it's 24 hours later. I have been very surprised how like simple it is to go from one look to another with special effects, and how little products and how not like few products you need to create this look, and how not many steps you need to do to create the look. It's more about getting the right colouring, the right texture. So looking at pictures is quite good, although there can be some kind of interesting gruesome pictures. Afterwards we made bowl caps ready for the live casting that we did the next day. So we just did generic ones. You can obviously like make bespoke ones, you measure it to the actual person's head, but we just did bespoke one. We just did generic ones, so on a red head, and you basically just layer latex, you blow dry, then you powder, and you keep on doing it to add layers. And then as you add more layers, you go further back, so the front bit's really thin, so you can really blend it into the skin, and it gets like thicker for like the back bit and the neck, so there's a bit more like stability and stuff like that. So that was Monday, and Tuesday was the interesting day. So this was when we actually did the live casting. Now live casting is where you can do like the entire head and shoulders, you can just do the front part of your face, you can do like the nose area, mouth area, ears with this. And it's basically to create a mould of your face, then you can sculpt prosthetics onto it, and again those prosthetics will then be bespoke to the person you've moulded, so it will really fit their face kind of thing. I was the one that had this demoed on by the tutor. Now we were only going to make prosthetics for like a nose or chin, but so we could know how it felt and also know how to do the application, we did the entire kind of front portion of the face. So that's what the bowl caps were for, A, to learn how to make them, obviously to cover the hair section so nothing got ruined. I was covered in bin bags to prevent like stuff falling, although it literally got everywhere on my jumper. I've had to put in the washer again to see if I can get stuff out. But yeah, so it was an interesting experience with mine. I think I might have freaked a few of the girls out, and I think had I watched it being done, I might not have wanted to have it done on myself, in all honesty. But basically you have to mix this alginate with water to create this kind of thick consistency. It's quite wet and you need to move really fast with it, which so it can be quite frantic. And basically get pushed into the eyes, and it was very cold and it felt weird. It did feel like, I thought, oh, am I going to get in my eyes for a second? But if you've got your eyes shut, it's fine. So it gets pushed right into the eyes, it goes over the mouth, over the ear section, and over the nose. Now with me, she did ask, do I want it to be worked around my nose, or for it to be
most of our export,
or have it just straight across my nose and me breathe really harshly out my nose to get rid of any of the alginate from going up my nose. And I thought a better option would be to go around the nose. It turns out everyone else did the other option and it turned out much better. So yeah, I had it over my eyes, over my mouth, and then she worked around my nose. But because the texture was a bit more, was slightly runnier than it was supposed to be, it really dripped, and I accidentally inhaled up through my nose some alginate because my mouth was covered. Like the only source for me to then breathe out, but I kept on getting it back up there. So she had to like take off the mouth portion so I could breathe for a second while they cleared the nostrils and things, and then someone was on guard with cotton buds just to make sure then my nose area was kept clear throughout the process. So I think it freaked a few of the girls out that way. Carried on, she did put it back over the mouth, over everything, like that, and then you go ahead and put like something like fairy liquid or whatever, or soap over it just to kind of smooth out the bumps as best you can, but you got to do it quite quickly before it sets again. And then you go with like plaster bandages just to kind of hold the mould in place and strengthen the mould. And I think it was on my face setting, or actually maybe the total time was about 20 minutes I'd say, so it wasn't like the longest time on my face. It was a weird feeling because obviously I had the bowl cap over my ears, so nothing so we didn't take moulds of the ears. And then obviously had the alginate going over, so my ear, I couldn't overly hear. I could hear, but it was like more muffled. And my only way of communicating was giving a thumbs up or thumbs down. Took it off, and there was an imprint in the alginate of my face, and it's crazy the amount of detail it picks up. So then obviously we had to go on other people, and I have to say, out of having it done on yourself, doing other people and watching it is the worst part, because it looks so freaky. No one took a picture of me, so I'll just try and find a generic picture of someone having it done, what they look like, and it's quite creepy. Probably the easiest part is having it done. Once the nose like portion's clear, it's absolutely fine. And then doing it isn't too bad, it's just you've got to work so fast with the alginate before it sets, and obviously make sure the nose area is clear so people can breathe. But again, because we were only, if you were only making a nose or mouth or chin prosthetic, you'd only need to do that section, or just the ears. You can just do the ears, just stick like cotton in the ears so it doesn't go in. But she wanted us to know how to do a full half face kind of thing. We had to then fill those with plaster to get a 3D mould of our faces, so that we can work the prosthetic onto it. Now actually, because like I said, we only needed like a mouth, the chin or the nose, so we then could, so you just take off the excess parts, so you just have the chin area, you just have that nose area. I think it was Jasmine that had my face, and she was doing a chin part, because the situation with my nose, the nose portion got a little bit ruined, so it was hard to use the nose for mine. And so because you don't then need necessarily that rest of the face, I've actually got the mould of my upper half with me, so I'll go and get that so I can show you. And it is crazy the amount of detail that it picks up. So this is the top half of mould of my face. You can see where the nose, we had situation stuff. Yeah, I don't know if you want to see, but like the detailing on the eyelids of all my wrinkles and creases, it is crazy. And there were a few eyebrow hairs actually stuck in the mould as well. I mean, with this you do put like Vaseline or some kind of jelly substance on the eyebrow and eyelashes just to prevent that from happening, but the few did come out, but it wasn't like a big deal or anything like that. I think. And then Wednesday was the actual sculpting of the prosthetic piece. Now we're going to apply this prosthetic piece to whoever's part of the face we had, and we had to like think of some kind of character to create to go alongside with the prosthetic. So I kind of like Pinterested prosthetic noses, because I thought I kind of wanted to do nose over chin. So I just Pinterested prosthetic noses, see what came up, and I thought, okay, I decided to go with the Tin Man. I thought it'd be a bit different. Well, not that, well, I mean, it's not that different, but yeah, something like that. Created the prosthetic nose from, it wasn't clay, it wasn't wet clay we used, it was a different kind of clay, something, I'm not 100% sure what it was. I will try and see if I can find out or something. So you had to layer it on the nose, smooth it all out so it was nice and kind of bump free, and then you can start sculpting it and turning it into kind of the nose that you want. And then again you have to smooth it so it was all nice. So that literally took all of Wednesday. And to be honest, I could have carried on like sculpting away. It was I was surprised how fast the day went by and stuff like that. So that was literally what we did Wednesday. I did take pictures of all the stages of doing the live casting, apart from the actual mould section of the head, so I will like be inserting the pictures as I go along. Yeah, so that was literally all of Wednesday, sculpting the prosthetic that we wanted to do, and yeah, I actually really enjoyed it. It brought us on to Thursday. Now we did the first part mould, so it's basically putting the rest of the head. So say on here you've obviously sculpted your prosthetic nose or whatever, then we did use wet clay to cover the rest of the face in a relatively thickish layer, and we had it on a tile piece, and we had to cover the tile piece, like we needed to cover the tile piece as well. So obviously then, say it was flat, it was put clay up and out until here and smooth out, so there's a nice like barrier, and we had to put it around the prosthetic but leaving a gap for like the blending edge that the prosthetic will form. We had to put some kind of board around it, so a few girls who had the chins could use like bits of plastic. I used cardboard just to create a border, obviously leaving a gap from the face and the cardboard so that plaster can get filled in there, securing it, and then putting clay around the outside just so the cardboard stays in place. And then you fit it with plaster again. Now mine did slightly spill out because the cardboard just wasn't holding it together, but we managed to fix it so nothing else leaked. And basically the plaster was creating the first part mould, so you then create like a negative imprint of your mould of the prosthetic. So then later when you do the second part, you fill it with silicone to create the actual prosthetic part. So that's Thursday morning. We did the first part mould, and then we moved on to the burns for the last half, or last part of the day, and we did all 4 degrees of burn. Now first degree is just like redness, just like sunburn basically, so you just like put red patches on the skin, nothing too difficult. And then second degree burn was where the skin actually starts to blister. So we had this stuff that you melt, I don't know if it was like a gelatin like substance, so you melt it in hot water and it comes liquid, and then you just pour drops on it, and it just creates the look of blisters. And then we added a bit more redness around the edges of the blisters to make it look more realistic, and then you could seal it in place with like spray plaster, and that was how you created second burn. It was kind of the 3rd and 4th degree burns that were kind of the more, I guess, fun part, if you can call it fun. I mean, it's not that fun to look at, but like the more details, more creative you can be with it kind of thing. So we did have to Google pictures for this, which I wouldn't recommend unless you need to, Googling definitely not 4th degree burns because it's interesting. But yeah, so 3rd degree burns is where it's kind of damaged the skin now. So you've still got the redness, but you've got maybe a bit more, there's a bit more black to it, so there's like wounds and holes in the skin now. So to do that we layered latex, tissue, and then we blow dried, and we kept doing that, so you kind of create a, not too thick, but like some kind of fake skin section here, so you can cut bits to create holes or whatever. So then, yeah, you make it look all red, add black bits around the outside for like dead skin cells and things like that have been burnt. You could add like scab blood you can add scab blood into the wounds. You could add a few more blisters, kind of whatever. No burns the same, so kind of whatever you kind of want to do, but that was kind of the key things to do. And then to take it from that to 4th degree, so 4th degree is where the tendons are actually showing, so it's gone through the skin level now, and yeah, tendons are showing. So for this you literally, I cut up the tissue section and folded back the 2 things to make it look like skin, and I stuck it down with latex to have it hold. And then for the middle bit you could either use cotton buds and take the bud bits off the ends, so you got the stick parts, which I think Chloe did. She did it on Emily's hand actually, and had it so that it was kind of poking out. It looked quite cool. You can roll up tissue and stick it in there. So I did the tissue, I rolled it up, and you just stick it with latex again and blow dry it in the wound. So I did 2 of those, and then again you add more red, you add a lot of blood then to it, make it a bit darker and things like that, just so it looks a bit more gruesome and a little bit more realistic. So that was the burns, and again there wasn't like that many steps involved, that many products needed. It was just about, and kind of with this one you can be as creative if you want to really, as long as it kind of resembles what it's supposed to, you can kind of do whatever you want in a way. And it's just about, yeah, getting the colouring right and getting the texture right and making it look as kind of realistic as you can. That's obviously the harder parts of it, but it was a lot of fun. And yeah, that was Thursday. So then Friday I had a couple of struggles. So Friday we were able to take the first pot mould out, so we had obviously the negative imprints. That was the thing we needed to create the actual prosthetic. But I had issues, so oh crikey. But I had issues trying to get mine out. So obviously you could take all the cardboard out. So you had the plaster that was the first part mould that made the imprint, the negative imprint here, with obviously this in with the clay and stuff to create the print. And I had real issues trying to, because you had to kind of like stick sticks down there and just wiggle about to eventually pop it out, and I had issues trying to get mine out. I think there was a bit of clay that separated, so plaster stuck to plaster, so that's always can be an issue, because then it makes it a lot harder to get out. So it probably took me and a few other girls like most of the morning to try and get it out. So that was kind of my first struggle, but eventually it budged. It's just one of those things. Obviously it's our first time doing it, so it takes time sometimes. And then it was on to doing the second part mould. So this you made with silicone, and you could add colour in there to make it look more flesh-like. I kept it just clear because mine was going to be Tin Man, so I was just going to paint over it. And then you pour the silicone into the 3D, into the negative imprint, and then you pop this mould into the top just so it sets in place, and then it pushes all the silicone into the holes and then the details and stuff like that to get a really good effect. And that you probably have to leave it for maybe 40 minutes or so, I think. And then you can take it out and you've got this silicone prosthetic that you actually applied to the face. So then the last part of that day was obviously us applying it to the face and creating our characters. Now because, like I said, a few of us had troubles trying to get it out and stuff, we kind of were slightly limited on time at the end of the day to create our characters and stuff, so a lot of us only did half the face. And my initial idea of doing it, so like I said, the Tin Man, my initial idea was to have actually bits of skin open and have bits of like metal showing through it, as opposed to doing a whole Tin Man look. But because we ran out of time, I thought, okay, I'll just do half the face as a whole Tin Man. So I used the special effects palette we got in our kit, using like the grease paint stuff, and just added the greys. I did lighter grey, whatever. I put some darker greys in. I created like lines to create like where the plates maybe have met with screws and stuff like this. And I did some shading around those edges, and then I did go in highlighter, or I think it was just a pearly eyeshadow I used, just to make it look more shiny and more metallic like. And then obviously, well, before that I obviously applied the prosthetic nose with glue, and then use IPA, which is like an alcohol, to blend out all the edges, to make it look like it's part of the face. But I had so much fun this week doing it. It was very full on, very hard work, and I was very tired at the end of it. And like I said, there was a couple of struggles, so you did need to have patience and perseverance this week. But like I knew I was gonna like the special effects stuff, like the bruises, the burns, stuff like that. I knew I was gonna like the period makeup, which I have done, but I didn't think I'd really enjoy prosthetic makeup, and I kind of really want to carry on doing it after this course. Funny enough, Bella, who was our tutor for the entire week, she did a course with Neil Gorton, who I almost did a course with as well. He's got two main ones. The one's character makeup and special effects, the other one is prosthetics. I would have done the actual character makeup and special effects because that was kind of the thing at the time I wanted to do, but now I'm kind of really wanting to do the prosthetic side. But I've been literally Friday I came home and I spent ages looking at his website and things like this, going through the student galleries of kind of the final projects that he's worked with, and it's just incredible. And he's got his own shop called Neil's Materials with everything on it you need. He's got a YouTube channel, and literally I think I was up till 2 o'clock in the morning Friday, just looking at everything that he's done and coming up with like my own ideas and things like that. So I will actually quickly show you his website and show you things people have done and stuff like that. And I think I really want to continue doing this outside this course. I've actually signed up. He has a quarterly subscription magazine. You can get it online, but I like having something like in my hand to look at. And it's like stuff like things he's worked on, step by steps, advice, and it just looks so cool. And yeah, so while I get this, and so I'm just gonna quickly get those things up on my computer so I can show you and stuff. But I kind of, whilst I was during this week, I had an idea whether it's a practical idea, whether it's feasible, how costly it's going to be, and whether it would be something any of you would want to be interested in seeing. But I thought either, sorry, the dog downstairs is getting a bit mental. Oh, it's because of the dog outside getting a bit mental as well, that's fine. Okay, so yeah, an idea popped into my head whilst doing this course, like I said, and if I'm gonna do it, it won't be like I have to work out logistics and stuff like that. But I thought either on this channel or create a separate channel, depending on what you want to see. If you want to see this, of me creating prosthetics, doing special effects, creating characters, things like that, and showing you kind of the stages of doing it. So showing you, like, one video could be deciding on the character, planning out what materials I'm going to use for it, how I'm going to do it, the colours I need, stuff like that. Then the next video could be me actually creating the prosthetic, moulding, and then the final video could be me actually applying it and creating the character, making the character come to life. Or it maybe doesn't necessarily need to be like a specific character like the Tin Man, but it could be like just a generic like fantasy character, or like a fairy tale or something along those lines. I don't know. But yeah, I just thought it might be really fun. Like I said, I don't know how practical it's going to be, but actually if I want to continue this, I need to practice anyway, so I can still, I'll probably just film the practicing so you can see me going wrong, see where you can see me realising what I need to do differently next time or something like that. I just thought it might be quite fun, and like I said, I can either do it on this channel, it wouldn't be every week, it would be like once or twice a month. I could show you the stages and me practicing and stuff like this, or because I know I do a lot of like more wearable stuff on this channel, but I do love doing this stuff as well, and it'd be quite nice to combine the two. And like I said, I wouldn't like overload with the special effects, because I know it's not everyone's thing, but just like once or twice a week, or once or twice a month, sorry. Or I could create a whole separate channel that's all to do with special effects, I don't know. Oh, and also before I show you this Neil Gorton stuff, I did get a couple of comments about my hair dolly and whether I've named it, or doing a poll on YouTube for you guys to decide. Now, because I'm below a certain threshold of subscribers, I don't think I can actually create polls. Like, I can't do like the community tab thing. So instead, if you all leave names of suggestions of, if you all leave like suggestions of names down below that I could call my hair dolly, then I will just go ahead and I'll pick my favourite one. Or if there's one that's got particularly most likes, I can go for that one or something. So you can be as creative as you like, or whatever, and then yeah, I'll pick a name to call my hair dolly. But I had a couple of comments actually on that, so yeah, just let me know down below. And then yeah, so onto the website. Okay, so this is the Gorton Studios website. So this is where you can like get the courses and things like that. So all the pictures you see here, like it says, is all work done by the students, their final work, which is just incredible. So yeah, so there's 2 7-week courses, which is the one I was mentioning. They've got short week courses, ones that if you kind of email them and say what you're looking to do, they can actually create bespoke courses. And you can also learn from home, which is, I'm tempted to get a few of these DVDs. Now they're quite pricey, so again, I'm going to have to, obviously I need to really work my ass off when I get back, A, in the calf, and B, trying to find makeup jobs, just to obviously, because this is pricey stuff. So he's got stuff like the art of aging. Oh, I'm not even showing you. Well, so he's got stuff like the art of aging prosthetics, creating character prosthetics in silicone, live casting with silicons and alginates, the art of silicone prosthetics. Now, some of this I have actually learnt, but it might be quite interesting to have something that I can watch over again, so I can remind myself, and things like that. So this is the magazine I was on about that I've subscribed to. I apologise that it's doing that weird line thing on my laptop. Okay, it's going to take a while to load. So I quickly show you, also I want to show you some student galleries. Okay, that's quicker. So this is the one I was thinking of doing, because no it wasn't. No, this isn't. This is the one I was thinking of doing, but it was in Falmouth. That's why it kind of put me off. I'm kind of glad I'm doing this course because I get to the makeup side as well. So if I show you, so this is a gallery, let's go 2015, let's have a little look at this one. Of things, so like, this is obviously, like I said, stuff students done, so you've got things like this. Like, that's really cool. This is kind of stuff I want to do. I know it's quite freaky and stuff, but Neil Gorton has done stuff like for Doctor Who and Saving Private Ryan and all sorts of things, so it is really cool. And then my favourite one is actually from this course. I've got to find the right picture. Here it is, this one. This one here. I don't know why, but it's my favourite if it wants to load. There you go. I just think it looks incredible, and this is definitely, I didn't think I'd be really into this kind of stuff. I thought more like the wounds and the bruises, and then, like I said, the makeup side. But this stuff I'm really, really enjoyed, and I kind of, like I said, really want to go further into it. So that's that. And then you've got, oh, this isn't, why aren't you loading? Okay, well the magazine won't load, but I can always show you in a video when it actually arrives. So you can pay monthly, where I've paid for the year, and it's like quarterly, like I said. So I'll receive the one that's out now as well. Then he has got a YouTube channel which just has like behind the scene videos and things like that, which is quite cool. And then, like I said, Neil's material, so I've got all like stuff for prosthetics and things like this. And one of the things I am thinking of getting is, I'll type a plastic mould of a head, but they have got more sturdy ones, so it's like kind of the head and the shoulders, but it's like 70 quid and it's quite expensive. And I just thought to practice on for now, this would be a really good idea. So obviously I won't be able to create bespoke prosthetics, but it's just generic, but I can create generic ones that I can practice with. If Emma's willing to let me do a bit of life casting on her, I can do some on her. I could even probably do, or anyone else, or I can do it on anyone else who's willing to let me do it. I probably would start off just doing like nose, chin, ears before I try to do the whole face, because you do kind of need an assistant to help you with doing the whole casting situation. It's always quite helpful. But yeah, I was thinking of getting this so I can create prosthetics on it and stuff and things like that. But yeah, I just spent, like I said, I was up until 2 o'clock on Friday going through everything, coming up with ideas of stuff I could do as well. And I just think prosthetics is something really cool. Like I said, it is hard work, and it's patience and it's perseverance, but it's something I'm really interested in, and I just think it looks so cool and amazing, and would be an amazing skill to have. I need to obviously practice to improve my skill set and learn more, which is why I said I think I might get some of the online DVDs. Even though it's kind of covered some of the stuff I've done, it'd be good to have something I can watch over and over again, so if I think, oh, how do I do this again, I've got something I can reference. And they've had great reviews of the online learning stuff, so yeah, I'm really excited for this, and I'm so glad I've done this course. And yeah, I can't believe how quickly it's going. So obviously I've done 2 weeks already, I've only got 2 weeks left. I've actually gone through and shortlisted my applicants for my final shoot type thing, contacted people. So that'll be underway. And then next weekend I've got, hopefully, Rosie coming to stay, my uni friend. She was meant to, so that'll be really exciting and fun and stuff to do. But yeah, so this is this video complete. I'm so sorry it's been like a very boring sit down type video, but like I said, I had issues with my memory card, so there wasn't much I could do about it. But I promise next week, now I've got a new memory card, it will be better, and we can get a better vlog and a bit more interactive, hopefully. So yeah, thank you so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed this and found it interesting, and I'll see you in my next video.